The film opens up with Herman, the father of a respectable family, cleaning the photograph casing of his late spouse. Man is right here. A rich fellow, and is carrying on with an extravagant life. The film rotates around the family, which comprises of 4 individuals, herd men. Furthermore, his 3 kids, Javi, Barbie, and Charlie. Here we get to know that Herman's significant other died a couple of years prior because of a medical problem, and from that point forward, the family has been depending on the cash from her trust reserve. Here man has been allowing his kids to spend uninhibitedly, satisfying their cravings to escape the injury of losing their mom. Anyway, arriving at this place, he begins getting stressed as he needs one of his youngsters to assume control over his at last business. In the following scene we're acquainted with Barbie, the main little girl of the honorable family who is involved with Peter, a moderately aged person, 20 years more seasoned than her. It is uncovered that he needs to wed her only for her abundance, as he has a huge duty obligation in the first part of the day. For Barbie's birthday, laborers show up to beautify their home, and she perceives Lucho among them. Lucho is the nephew of their family servant, and he used to live in their chateau worker quarters. Barbie used to prod and irritate him during their young years, so Lucho doesn't like her anyway. He needs to submit to her orders as she is the girl of his manager. Next, we meet Javi, the center youngster, who has a gentle interest in taking over his dad's business when he's not celebrating with his companions. He claims to work for the organization anyway. His thoughts are frequently ridiculous and unrealistic, which gets scrutinized by his dad's colleague Kareem, trying to help Javi's certainty. Herman allots him a significant errand to offer for a project the following day, and furthermore makes reference to that he will be granted assuming he gets the project. Javi hesitantly consents to take part in the program and leaves. In conclusion, we experience Charlie, the most youthful child, who is an undergrad with a trendy person way of life. He regularly skips classes, plays with his instructors, also causes problems in light of his conduct. Like his kin, he appreciates celebrating and spends his folks' cash without believing that there is a tomorrow. In the following scene, while Herman is in his office with Kareem, he goes over a bill itemizing his youngsters' pointless costs from the previous month. Angered, Kareem requests that he take it genuinely and cautions him about their reckless ways of managing money. In the meantime, Javi ignores his relegated assignment of offering for an undertaking, and on second thought takes his companions out traveling to Miami. Previously leaving, he gives up the task record to one of his dad's representatives and requests that he deal with the circumstance. At night, everybody shows up to observe Barbie's birthday. While inviting and dealing with the visitors, Barbie experiences Lucho. She draws near him and requests that he assist with cleaning a stain on her dress. Reluctantly, Lucho cleans it and notices that she hasn't changed a piece since their prior experiences. At that moment, Herman likewise goes along with them and starts conversing with his girl. Peter sees them bantering and hinders them driving Herman and Barbie to a confidential room at his solicitation. Next, Herman furthermore, Peter have a discussion where the last option asks Herman for his authorization to wed Barbie. Herman communicates his interests about what Peter accomplishes for work and how he will accommodate his little girl and her requirements. In answer, Peter specifies that he got his eatery business shut 9 months back and is searching for a financial backer to begin another one. Barbie hinders and guarantees her dad that until Peter finds a financial backer, they will utilize her mother's trust store. When Herman hears this, he gets angered and encourages his little girl to avoid Peter, calling attention to that he is excessively old for her. In spite of her mother's qualms about Peter, Barbie stays firm in her choice. She strolls outside and declares their commitment, ignoring her father's concerns. The next morning, Herman is as of now upset by his little girl's decisions, and his concerns increment when he finds that Javi avoided the significant gathering. He was relegated to not long after he gets a call from Charlie's school dignitary illuminating him that Charlie has been removed for being engaged with a heartfelt connection with an instructor. Herman makes an honest effort to deal with the circumstance, yet comes up short. Wrecked with stress, he encounters trouble in breathing and is raced to the medical clinic. While trying to cause his youngsters to feel answerable for bringing him hardship, he claims to have experienced a cardiovascular failure. At the point when they stay with him anyway to his failure, the kin start quarreling over a film and show no worry still up in the air to educate them in illustration. Herman devises a game plan with Kareem to counterfeit insolvency and send the three kin to live in his father's old and deserted house. In the next scene, Barbie is eating at a cafe with a companion. Javi is celebrating with his companions, not surprisingly, and Charlie is going to a contemplation class. Sooner or later, Barbie attempts to pay the bill with her card, yet it is declined, which confounds her as she has never experienced this issue before. At that moment, the kin get a call asking them to get back quickly due to an crisis burning through. No time, all kin assemble at home. Here they understand that their telephones have been removed and a group has assembled outside requesting cash from their father. Stressed contract killer shows up and guides them to get away from their own home by getting around the wall. They then move into a vehicle and drive away from the place. Once they're at a protected distance from the house, Herman uncovers that he's been misled by his team lead, Kareem, who has taken off with all the organization's cash. Consequently, he is presently monetarily destroyed and is needed by the police for third-degree misrepresentation. Moreover, Herman adds that since the kin are additionally investors of the organization, the police are looking for them, compelling them to remove contact with their family members and companions, and life sequestered from everything. Jesus Christ. At long last comprehension the gravity of the circumstance, the kin go with Herman to his dad's old house, which isn't recorded as a resource of the organization and can't be followed by the cops. Before long, the family shows up at the house and tracks down it in extremely unfortunate condition with a broken rooftop and harmed furniture. The three kin, who have as it were experienced extravagant lodgings, are totally appalled by the state of the old house. Herman recommends redesigning it continuously. As they bring in cash later, they have a supper of bad quality road food. While talking about their monetary circumstance, when asked how they will make cash, Herman recommends that the kin work without precedent for their lives. The following morning, we see the kin dozing on the floor when Herman wakes them up. After this, Barbie endeavors to wash up, yet tracks down that the spigot just deliveries dim messy water. She then resorts to utilizing hand sanitizer to clean herself. Rather, in the meantime, Javi comes out to his companions for cash, promising to reimburse them once their resources are available once more. Sadly, his companions, who used to partake in his extravagant party and acclaim his business thoughts, will not help him. Besides, they even referenced that they were with him just to party and appreciate their time. Later, Barbie calls Peter to illuminate him that they need to delay the wedding. Hearing this, Peter becomes upset, and he even hangs up the call when Barbie requests some financial assistance. In the accompanying scene, Charlie takes the drive to look for a task at his father's solicitation. He effectively views as one and starts working. Anyway, his manager, who initially planned the situation for her niece, treats him discourteously and takes steps to fire him, assuming that he's discovered doing any false exercises. By the day's end, the family reunites, each offering whatever cash they had the option to gather. Barbie figures out how to acquire the most, yet it's uncovered that she offered Javi's watch to get the cash. Not long after, their imperial house cleaner Maggie and Lucho show up at the house to offer their assistance. They too carry garments for the family to change into. Lucho quickly takes advantage of the chance to inconvenience Barbie as restitution for her past way of behaving. At his auntie's solicitation, Lucho gets Barbie a task as a server at the eatery where he works. When Javi asks with Lucho, assuming there's any work for him, he is extended to an employment opportunity as a public vehicle driver. On Javi's most memorable day of work, everything goes flawlessly until another transport driver cuts in line and ridicules him at the gas station. In the meantime, Lucho carries Barbie to the cafe where she should function as a substitution. Anyway, she's sickened to observe gourmet experts spitting in clients' feasts. After Lucho converses with his manager to affirm her situation, she is expected to change into a uniform in a shared storage space. Barbie denies doing so yet. Accordingly, Lucho claims that the circumstance suits her horrendous character. Over the long haul, the kin bit by bit adjust to their new life, taking care of their own cooking and cleaning. In spite of the fact that they face beginning difficulties, they immediately become acquainted with their obligations. Javi's contention with a transport driver go on for a really long time, and one day when he endeavors to race the driver for a parking space, the last option deceives him. What's more, he's fined by traffic police. Barbie then again battle